Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Friday, September 27th, 2024. What do we have in the cards for today? May I please have the first 5 cards in our 5-card spread? First card we are starting our day off with today is, I love it. I love it. We've got here our High Priestess card. So one of the things we keep on seeing right now, and I need to stress this because that Pisces full moon, that Pisces partial eclipse full moon, which was a lot, requiring and building like a lot of emotional outpouring, if you will, right? A lot of that energy, better out than in to a certain extent. But what's nice, like when you think about that, like you have that emotional outpouring. And as long as you navigate that overflow or that surface in a positive way, like it can feel very cleansing right now. It can feel very clearing, right? It can feel like there's a lot of that sense of coming into that like higher headspace, if you will. So even here, and this is again the other thing that we recognize that frequently happens during these eclipse processes, is the lessons that usually take longer to filter through across the frequencies. They start happening all across them at once because of that amplification of the energy. Now, masculine and feminine energy, this may be feeling very different right now. We saw yesterday, masculine doing a lot of that work is aligning or coming into alignment or working through, again, healing your energetic feminine. Feminine is doing a lot of work right now, building into the state of healing their energetic masculine. That's what we effectively see is happening right now for a lot of the energy deep within divine union. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For the masculine right now, this could be feeling like more of a softening process, that ability of becoming vulnerable, that ability of being able to feel one's own emotionality, and that sense or that understanding or that recognition of coming into that space. This is a lot of the masculine energy that may be feeling like they're very much in touch with their emotions during this time. That's why we keep saying that it's really important not to be overly reactive, because the ability to communicate through emotions instead of reacting to them, that is what allows for that sense of breakthrough, right? For feminine right now, a lot of that work that we're potentially seeing, this may be feeling like a lot of that energetic resilience, right? A lot of that work in terms of building that sense of endurance. For a lot of the feminine energy right now, this may be feeling like, again, I want to stress, this isn't the feminine energy disassociating from their emotions, right? This is the feminine energy that is learning to be strong while feeling the energetic emotions. So we see even now that for a lot of the feminine energy, this could be feeling like a little bit more of that hardening process, a little bit more of that energetic resilience. Now, this is effectively happening now across all of the frequencies. So we're just going to move forward right now. Because even here, and we're recognizing and identifying the big groundbreaking thing that we're really seeing right now for the energy. I need to stress this, for the energy right now coming into divine union. One of the things that we spoke about was a little bit of that feeling that the honeymoon period may be over right now, like there's something about that energy. A lot of energy right now was moving into some very fast escalated relationships. But I need to stress this. These are not relationships that were moving quickly because of a space of passion. These were relationships that were building out from a place of honesty, building trust along the way, building into that trust process. And so that moment of intensity, feeling that amplification, potentially feeling like that uptick at the moment that the eclipse started, the ability to move towards that with a sense of excitement and delight versus moving away, that was first giving clarity and relationality to whether one feels that sense of vulnerability is one that one welcomes or one fears, right? Because that's the thing about love. When you come into that space, that ability of holding in that space, if you're not necessarily ready for it, you may energetically run from it. So we see even now that a lot of the benefit that's occurring right now is this is either energy that is coming into divine union, acknowledging and recognizing what they need to work on in order to maintain a vibration that they may have felt like they've dipped into on occasion, or this is energy that is stepping away from someone if they're showing an inability to articulate that they recognize that there's something there that needs to be worked upon, because this is the energy that is feeling that sense of remembering that you cannot heal something that someone cannot acknowledge needs to be healed, right? So, but the important thing that's happening for a lot of this energy coming into divine union is this is not the energy overly internalizing an external problem. There's a lot of energy right now that's being very logical and perceiving it, so that they can effectively make that sense of like understanding what is theirs, what is within their own self to change, versus what is outside the self that is being observed. And this is heavy. I'm not saying that this isn't hard for some of the energy doing this, because even for the divine union, this could be feeling like a deep energetic commitment. Because for the masculine doing this, this may be feeling the sense of a feminine that, again, it doesn't require one to be perfect in that modality. But the ability to observe what needs to be fixed, the ability to talk through it, that is its own form of perfection, right? Because it allows for a space of acknowledging something so that you can address it. So we see even now that that is a major vector that is being utilized here, that is allowing the energy coming into divine union to feel like they're going further than they ever have with someone before, specifically because they have that ability. And this is either the congratulations to the self or the appreciation of the counterpart, saying to oneself, this is something that can be worked upon, and anything that can be worked upon can be improved. So that's a lot of that determination and that heaviness of path work that leads to resilience and energetic commitment. While for masculine, while there is some energy here that maybe experiencing, and I'm sad to say this, there may be some energy here where one person is coming from to that point of energy here that maybe experiencing, and I'm sad to say this, there may be some energy here where one person is coming from to that point of observing. If this is the energy that is feeling someone that's being overly reactive, or someone that's running from that work, or someone that's denying that work is existent, potentially even like denying the reality or truth that the potential counterpart is bringing towards them, then this isn't the energy that's trying to convince or trying to push forward in a way that someone does not desire to or does not acknowledge needs to be changed. This is the energy that is like stepping back and reinforcing to themselves in the process that mantra of saying, one cannot heal what cannot be observed. One cannot heal what cannot be acknowledged. And even in that modality to a certain extent, that is a moment that the energy is able to not necessarily build into an unhealthy karmic connection as they move away from something, because the gift that occurs in that moment is the understanding of why. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, in separation, a lot of new energetic connections that are happening right now. And I'm telling you even now, a lot of energy a few days ago was like, I'm done. And the universe was like, you heard them, they're done. Give them something new. Give them something new. They said they're done. They said they're done. Oh, they said they're done. Give them something new now. So there's a lot of new coming towards a lot of the energy in separation, because it's in the moment of saying done that one is refined the manifestation goal to such an extent that you're moving forward, you're letting go of the manifestation goal. And a lot of this energy right now is starting new energetic cycles as a result of it. And I can see the feminine all week's been going, what is happening right now? like, what is happening right now? And masculine is like, I know what it is that I'm looking for. Both of these energies right now, new energetic connections, taking a bit more of a wait and see approach, but even in this modality, a lot of clarity that's arriving to circumstances. Second card in our 5-card spread for today is living for this. We've got our 6 of Wands in its upright. So this is positive here. This is positive energy today. It's not that I'm going to tell you right now, it's not easy by a long shot. It's not easy by a long shot. But what we're effectively identifying that's occurring at this time is a lot of this energy that we're seeing here is going through those breakthrough points. And the healing that's coming through right now is a lot. I just want to say there's a lot of energy right now that is not second guessing themselves. This is the energy that's not second guessing themselves. And this is the energy that's like moving forward right now with a lot of confidence. But I want to stress this. This isn't the kind of confidence that feels like overconfidence to a certain extent. This feels in a very large degree like something that we are recognizing here, wherein we see that the energy is being very conscientious, being very conscious of what it is that they desire and moving with a lot of determination and purpose towards it. And that's happening right now across all of the frequencies. Masculine, and the funny thing is, I'm going to say that for a lot of the energy in separation, a lot of that modality that we're seeing to a certain extent, I just want to say it feels like the amplification, as it were, of, I mean, the best way I can describe this is the energy that's like not putting a lot of focus and attention on partnership right now. You know what I mean? Like I just see a lot of the energy in separation, almost being walking into something with a little bit of a, I don't want to say a lackadaisical attitude, but that's the thing. It's not building into that excitement of expectation. This is the energy that's just kind of saying, I'll know it when I see it, right? Like this is the energy that's not stressing about missing it. This is just the energy going, I'll know it when I see it. If it's for me, it'll be for me. And how that's not stressing about missing it. This is just the energy going, I'll know it when I see it. If it's for me, it'll be for me. And how can I miss something that's for me? If it's for me, I can't miss it. If it's for you, you can't miss it, right? Well, for masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union right now, this is the energy that is, if the energy right now is committed to path work that's difficult, they're moving straight into divine union. Because this is the energy that's, again, they're not just staying in the divine union because it's convenient and easy. This is the energy that's looking towards one another, and they're feeling that vitality and saying to one another, this is a real one. Because when we say real, we mean this is the energy that recognizes that anything real requires work. Anything real requires determination. So we see even now, like this is the energy that is moving into divine union, because it doesn't just feel like something is convenient and easy. It's that recognition point of the energy that not only has the same direction, but also the same force of will that is required, the ability to think through, the ability to be tenacious, the ability to work to maintain and sustain, not just to feel. That is the articulation of a divine union connection. So even here, this is the energy that's saying, now I know this is real because this is where the work begins. While for masculine and feminine energy deep within divine union right now, this is just a lot of energy coming into that space or place of supporting one another as you continue this work. And it's not easy work. I can just see it. There's a little bit of this nose to the grindstone, if you will, for the energy deep within divine union. But even in that modality, like that in itself feels like, I want to say, a point of victory, because that's the energy that recognizes that they're doing something in different ways and it's getting easier to do it in that way. That in itself is its own metric of success. Third card in our 5-card spread for today is, oh my goodness, we've got our 2 of Cups in its upright. Beautiful cards today. You know, I know we were seeing a lot of conflict last week in relationality to energetic connections, but I feel like there's something to be said right now for the fact that like this feels like the energy is finally coming back into a point of harmony. You know, because we even saw, I got to admit, we saw a few days ago that even for the energy right now, deep, like the last few days, there's been like, even the energy deep within divine union, there may have even been some spaces of energetic conflict, because these energies were taking different approaches to navigating problems. But what we're seeing and identifying here to a certain extent, this is the energy like kind of reaching back into a point of harmony, if you will. This is something that we see even here, especially because we recognized yesterday. Remember how we saw so much of that work, that point of appreciation that was occurring in relationality to the energy doing something in such a way, and seeing the results of doing that, and then looking with appreciation for the counterpart and almost saying, you have to deal with this all the time, and the counterpart being like, yep. You know, like this is the energy that is feeling that I told you that, like it's like almost like a bowing, if you will, because that's the energy that says like, I not only can embody and do the things that you can do in the ways you do them, but I also understand what it must like for you to do them, to always be in that modality. So there's a lot of that appreciation that we see is occurring in that vibration right now. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, coming into divine union, a lot of energy going deeper into divine union today, because again, this is the energy that so long as there is mutual acknowledgement of a shared reality of what needs to be worked upon. Again, it doesn't require someone to be perfect, but the ability to articulate through one's own imperfections, or the ability to talk towards them as though, again, they're not, this is your problem, that's my problem. The ability of the energy to say, this is something we, this is something we will work on together. It's that sense of working on the relationship as, again, identifying it almost like the separate being, right? That beautiful thing that we create between ourselves. This is the energy that feels that vibration of coming into union, because this is the energy that is agreeing to work on those things together. While for masculine and feminine in separation right now, what's going on, energy and separation? Because this is, I mean, if this is happening, if this is either happening on the personal or the professional space right now, I just see a lot of beautiful harmony that's occurring in relationality to new energetic connections. Either, and again, like this is like attracting like right now. I just see a lot of new energetic partnerships that are potentially taking form right now over the next few days. And a lot of it feels positive because there's, and I need to stress this, there's energy right now that is being very clear about what their intentions are. And this is an energy that's like committing to oneself to those intentions, but the intention, the shared intention that allows for attention is what I'm getting. This is energy that's giving one another attention because of shared intention. So this is a lot of introduction energy that's occurring here for energy and separation. Fourth card in our 5-card spread for today is our moon card in its reversal. So a lot of clarity that's coming through right now too across all of the frequencies. And that's what I meant. A lot of this energy, when they said they're done in separation, what you were really saying is like, I'm done putting up the false sense of self. I'm done doing what feels like it's out of my comfort zone. I'm done trying too hard. I'm done trying. I'm done with the word trying. Like that's what a lot of the energy and separation did when they said I'm done. They said, I'm done trying. I'm just going to be. Right? And when you stop trying and you start being, you allow for that space of energy in that same that same vitality to see you. So a lot of the energy is just being right now. And I the joke about this, I saw this yesterday. Is the energy's like, I'm in my villain era. I'm going to just be like the little like person that I am. And a lot of this energy showing up and someone's like, you're delightful. And I'm like, huh? Like a lot of the energy is like, huh? Because that's the energy that's not putting up a false sense of self. And because like, and it's coming from a point of frustration. Like I get it. Like a lot of the energy is like coming towards each other from a place of frustration and exhaustion. And there's that moment of saying, you know what? That was nice. That person seemed really honest. That person seemed really real. That person didn't seem like they were trying to impress. That person just seemed like they were trying to be. So a lot of authenticity I see that's occurring right now in some of these new energetic connections. And it feels like a sigh of relief. Masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union. This is the energy that's seeing each other for the first time in a real way. Because a lot of this energy here, that hurdle, that hiccup, it's okay. Relationships can have hurdles and hiccups so long as you can mutually acknowledge that that's occurring. And this is a lot of the energy that's feeling that sigh of release, because this is the energy going, thank you for not gaslighting me. But that sense of saying thank you for not gaslighting me, what that really means is like, thank you for acknowledging that we're living in the same reality. Thank you for recognizing that we are inhabiting the same truth, because what these energies are really doing is in the acknowledgement of the shared burden of what they need to work on to be able to maintain the consistency of a healthy relationship. What they're really saying is, I acknowledge your truth for what it is, and I'm going to work with you. And again, that is a shared process through which we're going to work through that together. So that's the energy that's providing each other clarity, right? It doesn't mean that they're perfect, but they're working on that pathwork of self-improvement for the sake of the relationship and the sake of the self. It doesn't feel like a department away from themselves. It feels like a returning towards themselves, because this is the energy saying, you're helping me find myself. While for masculine and feminine energy, deep within divine union right now, this is a lot of the breakthrough that's occurring in the energy, doing things in the way that the counterpart does, feeling that point, not only just feeling the success of something getting easier, but also recognizing how it changes the energy around them or what they have to navigate. So even here, this is the energy experiencing the energetic hurdles of the counterpart and building into that sense of deep empathy builds even further deepening of an energetic connection, because this is the energy that doesn't just see and admire the counterpart. They step into their shoes and they know what it must be to be like them, because they adopt and they do the work together. And so now that's that point of perspective that allows for deeper appreciation. Fifth card in our 5-card spread for today is, we have here our 8 of Swords in its reversal. So a lot of, I want to say, breakthroughs that are happening right now. Just really, like, this is beautiful process. This is beautiful. And like the breakthroughs I'm seeing for the energy deep within divine union is the breakthrough within the self. Like, this is a lot of energy deep within divine union, having a lot of personal breakthroughs. And that could be happening on an internal level, right? Or it could be happening on an external level. I'm not going to take that out of the equation here. This is either internal or external right now. While for masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union, this is the energy that feels like they're having a breakthrough via the shared commitment to the work that's going to be required to be able to maintain an energetic connection. This is an energy that goes, yeah, we have our good day, like we have our highs and our lows. Sometimes we're in a relationship that's great, and then I don't know what the heck's happening. This is the energy going, thank God I'm no longer in an energetic relationship where I have to wonder if it's going to be up here or down here. Because it's easy to jump into, right? And again, this is a lot of that Piscean energy that we saw because of the full moon. You know, when you think of a fish jumping out of the water, it's easy for a fish to jump out of the water, but to be able to like maintain a consistency of moving in a determination, not just going with the flow, but being able to create the flow, that's how you maintain a healthy energetic connection. Because you cultivate the connection. You maintain the connection. You sustain and prioritize sustaining the connection. So we see even now that this is the energy that's feeling the relief of looking at someone and going, thank God, they're not just here because it's convenient. They're here because they want to do the work, right? While for masculine and feminine and separation right now, this is the energy, I just keep saying a lot of energy right now that could not give a flying fish about anything. like I just see this energy moving into something right now and being like, yeah, I'm gonna go meet this person. I've got no expectations. I've got zero expectations, like egg, and that's the energy going, I got zero expectations, which is the egg. Like, they're like, nah, this is not, I don't know, whatever. Like, and this is like, you know, this is the energy that's like not taking it seriously. But in that sense of not taking something energetically seriously, like, you've left yourself open for beautiful surprise, right? Because you're abandoning the expectation. You're building that sense of appreciation of the self. And this is energy going, yeah, I'm like, you know, we seem like and this is, I gotta say, this is the energy to go, no, we've got the same, they want the same things I do, right? Look at this. You know, I've agreed. Like, this is, I see something, you know, because like they seem honest, right? And I don't know. We'll see. Like, it's like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like, it's like there's a lot of energy being like, eh. And they're like about to, like, you know, welcome, have a fun little surprise energy, right? Continuing to clarification here between our High Priestess and its upright and our 6 of Wands and its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with, this is what we talk about. This is what we talk about in relationality to so much of this work that we see that we put through via the divine, like via the connections. These are energies that have been saying, I'm done. The energy that says they're done, that's just beginning, right? The energy that says they're done, that's just beginning. So even here, this is a lot of that same energy that we were seeing over the last few days of someone being like, how you doing? And being like, have a big smile, being like, awful. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that type of energy. Like, there's a lot of this energy right now that's like that positive negative to a certain extent. The eclipse cycles have a tendency of amplifying, right? So if you're in a negative space, like, you're going to feel like really, really negative. If you're feeling positive, you're going to feel really, really positive. But this is the energy that, again, you know, what are they doing? They're deciding, they're working on maintaining. They're sitting in between, right? Like, this is the energy literally going, anything can happen. You know, I'm going to hope for the best, But I like this energy going, I'm going to hope for the best, but I'm going to prepare for the worst. Like there's a lot of energy right now going into a new energetic connection going, oh yeah, I'm going to hope for the best, but I'm going to prepare for the worst, right? But that in itself, to a certain extent, is good, because you see that this is energy that's not walking into something already in some kind of state of illusion, right? This is the energy that's like moving through something to a certain extent, and they're keeping an open mind. While for masculine and feminine energy right now coming into divine union, what we're recognizing and identifying here is this is the energy that is feeling that point of appreciation, because this is the energy that says, I don't need to be perfect to maintain the connection. This is the energy that's feeling the relief and the release in recognizing that they're moving into a connection that even when someone's at an energetic low point, there's still a point of positivity here, because this is the energy that the illusion's been broken to a certain extent, because they're seeing and identifying where the work needs to be put to continue to work towards that energetic connection. So even here, this is the energy that is here for it through thick and thin, right? Because that's where the commitment begins. While masculine and feminine energy, deep within divine union, a lot of this work right now that we're seeing that's occurring for the energy deep within divine union, this is the same exact energy as the energy coming into divine union right now, which is the energy that isn't affected by the energy around them. They work through it regardless. Like this is the energy that keeps a cool head. Like this is an energy that stays in their own flow state, because this is the energy that does not overly externalize overly internalize an internal problem. There's a lot of this energy right now that says, are things going bad? Wait. Are things going great? Wait. That's life. Like that's all you can do. Like the one thing that you can know, that is permanent and constant in life is change. So this isn't the energy that changes based on the change. This is the energy that stays resilient throughout it. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our 6 of Wands in its upright and our 2 of Cups in its upright. One card to clarify. Clarification coming through right now with our Page of Pentacles in its reversal. So the only thing I'm really seeing right now, that's occurring right now in relationality to navigating energy right now, is is going through like some spaces and states right now of, I want to say, like this is exhaustion. Like this is a little bit of this work, like the energy deep within divine union right now is just kind of working through a little bit of energetic exhaustion. Fortunately, it's a Friday. You know what I mean? Like I'm not surprised to see this type of energy. Like I'm not surprised to see this type of energy on a Friday to a certain extent, because it does feel a little bit like everybody's out of spoons. You know what I mean? Like it's giving a little bit of that energy right now. And the energy I'm also seeing right now, that the energy deep within divine union is also dealing, like I feel like the energy within divine union is navigating being out of spoons, helping everyone else with their spoons. You know what I mean? Like it's giving me a little bit of that energy, like that sense of like caretaking, and then feeling exhausted in the act of energetically caretaking, right? But again, that's where the work is, right? It's tireless. It feels like it's energetically thankless at times, but that's not why you do it, right? That's not why you do things when you're moving with a pathwork of purpose and intentionality, like that is that sense of like, like it's not that you're doing it because of that. You're doing it because you know that that's what one must do. Well, for masculine and feminine energy right now coming into divine union, this is painful. And the reason I'm seeing that there's something here that's energetically painful, and we see this a lot when we start to see the energy moving into divine union in this way. I just see a lot of energy potentially breaking down at a time that they're having a breakthrough, because in the moment that they're having a breakthrough and someone being able to acknowledge and be vulnerable and talk about what you're working through, and someone not running away from that work, someone taking your hand and saying, I'm going to do that work with you. It's that moment of remembering, like a lot of energy right now is going through that hyper extension of nostalgia in remembering all of those moments wherein that moment occurred in the past and someone did not hold one's hand through it, but they walked away. So I see even now that for a lot of that energy navigating that, that's emotional. There's a lot of unpacking. That's why, and I tell you even now, if you're going through a lot of that energy where you're like, I'm having moments that I'm on cloud 9, and then the next moment I feel like I'm in the energetic gutter, that's because a lot of that energy is feeling the vibration of the escalation that gives you disorientation, right? Because sometimes when you rise and you look down, you get you ever get vertigo? You look down, you go, whoa, you get that, you get a lot of that. So this is the best way I can describe this, is a lot of energy right now is experiencing the vertigo in seeing where they are with someone and then looking down and seeing how far, where they were in the past. That can sometimes create a little bit of that sensation of vertigo. So if you're navigating that, give yourself the space to energetically process it, because sometimes it can feel like a lot. It's eclipse season. While for masculine and feminine energy in separation, I just see this energy right now just walking into something going, I don't care, I'm expecting this not to work. There's a lot of this energy that's I want to say, I just see a lot of energy right now that's going into meeting with someone and being so maudlin, this is not it. Maybe, nah, probably not. I'm not going to this is the energy going, maybe this is a person. And and they're going, nah. And they're going, maybe, and they're going, nah, no way. Because this is the energy that's I got to say this, a lot of energy right now is getting that, I keep getting, they're getting that intuitive tug, which is the intuitive tug of not excitement, of being I don't know why I'm doing this. Why not? Why not? What's the worst that can happen? There's a little bit of this energy here, because again, they're they say they want the same things as me. There's a little bit of this, I want to say healthy, it's healthy cynicism is the best way I can describe this, because a lot of the energy is there's something in that where it's you're not walking into something with the mask of illusion on your face. You know what I mean? You're looking very much with a lot of that critical clear eye, as it were. And that's allowing for the Two of Cups in its upright with the Moon card in its reversal, which is exactly what we want to see when we're talking about new energetic connections, because these are energies that are meeting and couldn't be more authentic one another, because they're not trying that hard, right? And when you don't try, what happens when you don't try? You just are. You just be. So these are a lot of new energetic connections where someone's just coming towards someone from a state of honest being. So one card to clarify. What are you doing here? Clarification coming through. Ooh, that's why she wanted to come out. That card was being really resistant. This card did not want to come out of the deck, and then it came out of the deck. We've got our Empress here. Look at this. Look what we got today. Hello. Do you see this? Do you see what we got today? We got the Empress and the High Priestess out in its upright. So this is that surprise. I almost see some energy making some connections and being oh, I feel there's a little bit of this energy here of some kind of new connection, and I almost see someone being oh, what? You know what I mean? A little bit of that, a little, told you, let the eclipse surprise you. Let go of your expectations so that the eclipse can surprise you, okay? Because we see even now that there's something about that that's a little eye-popping. And for masculine and feminine right now, I literally see this connection of someone walking and making new energetic connection, being no, this is not the, hello, what the hello? That kind of energy. We got a little bit of that head turn going on right now for some of the energy coming into divine union. In separation. And all of this is the energy that's moving into new energetic connections with zero expectations. And the universe is going, well, yeah, you said you're done. So, while continuing the clarification here for masculine and feminine coming into divine union, a lot of this energy that I'm seeing right now coming into divine union I want to say, even here, this is much more, this is like the elevator that's happening here, because this is the energy that, I want to say, I can almost see masculine saying, the way you speak to me through this. Like, I can see masculine saying to feminine, the fact that you're speaking through it instead of reacting to it. This is why the energy is saying, I think you're the one for me. Right? Because these aren't energies that are becoming volatile and matching energy, but coming into that place of observation and articulation. And feminine, this is the feminine saying, as long as you're not afraid to do the work, I'm not afraid to do it with you. Because this is the feminine saying, this is why these two energies here are coming into alignment. Because that's the mutual appreciation they're having. And both of them saying, it's not that we're perfect, but you're perfect even in your imperfection. Because the masculine saying, your ability to articulate through those imperfections instead of reacting to them, this allows me to feel safe working through something with you. While for feminine, having masculine saying, your ability to acknowledge your vulnerability, not to pretend that it's not there, not to put up a false sense of self, not to use the emotions as armor, but to really talk through where that point of resistance is. You're telling me that you recognize that there's that wall, and you are invested in taking that wall down. And that's the energy saying, as long as you are, I am. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, that is deep within divine union. So much of this energy that I'm seeing deep within divine union right now, this is just, I want to say, the profound appreciation that we build upon within an energetic connection. And for masculine energy, I see masculine almost saying to feminine, the reason I care about you is because I don't feel like I need to energetically try. I can just be my authentic self. And a lot of that energy of the feminine, like moving towards masculine right now, I want to say this is a lot of the feminine right now, deep within divine union. Like, really, masculine's in a vulnerable place right now, deep within divine union. There's a lot of this inner child healing that's happening. And feminine right now, I see that feminine kind of creating that framework or that safe space for masculine to unpack that type of work. Like, this is a lot of that deepening of energetic intensity here. It's very tender, but it's very powerful. Continuing to get clarification between the Moon card in its reversal in combination with our Eight of Swords in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now. Love seeing this card in its reversal. We've got here our Nine of Swords in its reversal, especially because this card was in its upright yesterday. So there's a lot of catharsis that we see is occurring right now in relationality to, like, a lot of that energetic unpacking. And masculine, I see that a lot of this work right now, like, look at the juxtaposition of these cards right now. It's really important to see. Make sure that you go to the Substack and you look at today's spread photo, because it's really beautiful. We've got here, look, these are the two different journeys that masculine and feminine are navigating. Masculine is working through a lot of processing and feeling that they're not that they're not coming through enough in the space of being an energetic provider. You see this? And this is a lot of the masculine energy that judges themselves heavily in this modality, right? That feeling of never feeling energetically good enough, or feeling like they're always kind of short of their own mark. What is feminine saying to masculine right now? Perfection is a falsehood. Perfection tells us that we're never energetically enough. Perfection tells us that nothing we do is ever going to satisfy. So this is a lot of the feminine energy right now saying to masculine, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to, reminding the masculine, your intrinsic value is not based or built upon what you put forth. It's not based upon what you give out. Your intrinsic value is within. It's not without, right? So we see even here that this is the energy, and this is the same mantra that we've been seeing that's coming through right now to help navigate that exhaustion. You guys remember what those mantras were? Masculine, I am always on time. I am not missing anything. I'm always on time on my own journey. Feminine, I am getting stronger by degrees. Every day I am getting stronger. So we see even now that these energies are working on healing those frailties that often occur via the moving towards that pathwork of perfection. Masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union right now. This is the energy that is feeling the weight and the vertigo of those experiences wherein in the past they're experiencing. The reason there's vertigo that's potentially happening right now for energy coming into divine union is these are modalities where they're remembering reaching this level with someone in the past and this being a breakdown instead of a breakthrough. And so we see even now, this is the masculine energy, like almost looking to feminine and saying, I'm not energetically perfect. And this is like the masculine that feels like, the mirror's cracking because they're having those moments here where they're like the facade is breaking. And this is the feminine looking to masculine and saying, I don't see anything there that isn't beautiful. Right? Because this is the feminine that says to masculine that nothing is more beautiful to the feminine than a masculine that is able to crack their own mirror in relationality to being able to say, to embrace the fact that they don't need to be energetically perfect. Because that is the modality. When someone says, no, nothing's wrong, I'm perfect, what they're really saying is, I am incapable of healing. I am incapable of recognizing parts of the self that require energetic work. So we see even now, this is the communication that these energies are having to one another, because this is the masculine saying to feminine, coming into divine union, I'm not perfect. And in the response to the masculine that can admit their lack of perfection, feminine says, neither am I, nor do we need to be. And that is the energetic embrace of moving into divine union. While for masculine and feminine energy in separation, this is the villain era. Here's your villain era. You want your villain era? Here's your villain era between these energies coming into new energetic connections. This is masculine going, I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not. Welcome to my villain era. Like this is a masculine going, I'm not going to pretend to be someone that I'm not. I'm not going to put up a false sense of self. Welcome to my villain era. And feminine's going, I'm just going to be my authentic self. I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be I'm going to go full tilt. I'm not going to dial it back. I'm going into my villain era. Like these are two energies. And look how cute they are. Like the universe is going, look how cute they think they're villains. They think they're villains. It's really cute. And then they're bumping into each other. And feminine seeing masculine. And what's happening here? Feminine seeing the inner child of the masculine coming up. The energy that's not afraid to look a little silly. The energy that's able to be in their full expression and their full authenticity. And feminine sees that and it's beautiful. And masculine sees a feminine that is unapologetically themselves. And masculine feels like it is a relief, right? Continuing to get clarification right now between our Ten of Swords in combination with our Page of Pentacles in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now. I see a lot of delightful surprises this weekend. I see a lot of work right here, navigating spaces and places of energetic joy. I just see a lot of pleasant, I'm getting pleasant surprises this weekend, right? Because when we shed expectation, we leave ourselves available for exaltation. When we shed expectation, we leave ourselves available for exaltation. That is the vibration of gratitude, right? That ability of opening up the context, of abandoning what you expect will occur, allows for the surprise of what could be. And I see a lot of energy right now in separation, potentially having a lot of those moments this weekend. While for masculine and feminine energy, coming into divine union, a lot of this work that we're seeing coming into divine union right now, this is the energy that is feeling the release and relief of having that sense of not feeling like one is in a relationship where you have to maintain a facade, where you have to pretend to be easy, where you have to pretend to be perfect, where you have to pretend not to care. This is the energy that is really coming into divine union right now, feeling the full throttle of acceptance in relationality to the energy, saying for better or worse. We don't mean that we're going to be our best and worst selves for each other. It means that ability of recognizing each other's failings, recognizing each other's frailties, building that sense, having that modality of recognizing and identifying what the work is, and then investing to turn those negatives into positives. This is the energy that doesn't say to one another, I can be my worst version of self, and via V love, you should accept me in that. This is the energy that says this love is so wonderful that it wants me to become my highest version of self. And that is the energy that works towards that, because that is the energy that feels like that ability to find themselves via the relationship. Like that is the gift. That is the gift that requires the energetic work. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, this is a lot of that sense of, again, just, I want to say pleasure and enjoyment being within one another's company to a certain extent. Because again, this is the masculine deep within divine union that feels that feminine is a safe space, that they don't need to try, that feminine is the only place where in that expectation isn't thrust upon them or demanded. Being able to come into like that sense of like, this is like the energetic luxury of the Empress represented in the masculine. This is like these two cards here are basically the Empress card, right? Because you see here the repose and the delight. That's the Empress. This is the repose and the delight. So these cards right now are in equivalencies. So this means that masculine and feminine are kind of just in that space of like luxuriating in that energetic mentality. So we see even now like there is a little bit of that, like, it's giving me weekend vibes. Like it's giving me a lot of that sense of just moving into a space of like having some moments of energetic pleasure. Continuing to get clarification here between our Page of Pentacles in its reversal and our Empress in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Ace of Pentacles in its reversal. There's a lot of this like energetic easement right now. This is the most weekend spread I've ever seen, because you can see even now like a lot of that like letting go of the energetic burdens to a certain extent. You see this, like nobody's doing anything. Don't expect a lot to get done today is what I'm seeing, because everybody's going through that mutual exhaustion point of the eclipse. And so even here we see like a little bit of that energy of just like, I want to say, taking it easy. Like doing a little bit of that work, like wanting to facilitate into that point of easement. But I don't see that as a negative here. This feels like an indulgence. Like it's like coming into that, it feels like a weekend energy. It's like weekend energy. While for masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union, this also feels like a little bit of that energetic reward to a certain extent, because this is the energy that's like working and then like having that ability to like put that burden down. Like I told you, a lot of the energy deep within divine union has a hard time or a difficulty doing that. And this is the energy almost encouraging one another to do so in the process. Like I can almost see the energy deep within divine union moving to the counterpart, being like, put that away, just relax. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, a lot of this work that I'm seeing right now, this is the energy coming into divine union that is investing in the mutual work. And that investment, that's actually the commitment. The commitment is building into a commitment with someone. Isn't that moment that you say, hey, you want to go steady? You can put a label on anything. The energetic commitment that we identify and see is that moment that we see someone that says, I'm willing to put the work in for this. I'm not just here because it's delightful. I'm here for when it gets difficult too. And so we see even now that a lot of that investiture of commitment right now is what is articulating a lot of that energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now. And it's heavy stuff. It's the heaviness that uplifts, right? Because it's that grounded energy that elevates. So we see even now, like that's a little bit of that vertigo that we were talking about. While for masculine and feminine energy that is in separation, this is the energy that has abandoned expectation, and they've left themselves open for the universe to surprise them. Because when you abandon expectation, you leave yourself open to exaltation. You leave yourself open to something lovely coming through. Continuing to get clarification between our Empress card and our Nine of Swords in its reversal. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with, look at this. This is beautiful, very grounded energy right now. We've got here our King of Pentacles. Look at this combo. Look at these energetic connections right now. These are the energies that are coming towards these new energetic connections, and they're just fully embodied. And this is the funny part here. I need to stress this because this is the humor. Okay, this is how they're walking. This is how the internalized self sees it versus how the externalized self is receiving it. So feminine is moving into a space right now, coming into new energetic connections, going, I could not care less. I am a villain. I am like, this is the feminine going like, I'm ice cold here. I don't care, right? I'm just going to be me. And masculine, how does masculine see the feminine in that modality? Look at her. Unapologetically herself, right? So the feminine thinks they're walking into something looking like the high priestess, but what the masculine energy sees, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. Like feminine thinks they're this, but masculine sees this, right? Whereas masculine right now is moving towards something and going, I just don't care. And by I don't care, this means masculine going, I'm not going to put up a false sense of self. I'm not going to pretend to be someone that I'm not. I'm not going to try to meet the feminine's expectations. I'm just going to be my full sense of self, which feels very much like a child. I'm just going to come into something and I'm going to embrace my childlike nature, right? And what does feminine see when masculine does that? Look at him. Look at him. So confident, so cool, so collected, so grounded, so confident in their own self. So you see even now how the journey within often is not the same. What we feel within is not often what others experience from without. But these energies feel like they're letting go. Like in the moment that they feel like these are the energies that have let go of the mask of trying to be this. And in the moment that they let go of the mask of trying to be this, they are that. Because when you stop trying, you end up becoming. Continuing to get clarity on these cards right now between, for masculine and feminine coming into divine union, these are the energies that are looking towards one another and they're recognizing where the work begins. And that ability to recognize where the work begins and to validate that you're working towards the same joint motivated ideal. This is the feminine, masculine that says, this is a feminine who I feel safe to do that work with. This is a feminine that I can navigate and feel vulnerable talking towards my insecurities too. And masculine realizing that that was the work of the self, allowing oneself to be vulnerable to feminine, to allow that to become something that can be facilitated. And this is feminine recognizing and realizing that masculine coming into that place of security and authenticity, able to express their emotionality, but further, not just staying in a connection because it feels good and convenient, but really understanding that a healthy connection is not just something that comes easily, but something that you work tenaciously towards. Both of these energies feeling like they found their energetic counterpart, because this is the energy that says we're not just conveniently falling in love, we're working towards love. We don't just dip our toe in on occasion, we learn how to swim in that experience. So these are the energies that are doing that work together. While for masculine and feminine, deep within divine union, a lot of this energy deep within divine union right now, this is like a lot of just like doting upon the counterpart here. I just see a lot of this energy coming into that state or space of being like, you know, like the energy, like I told you, this has moved out. Like I saw like last week, we were talking about the energy during the Pisces full moon. Everybody needed to be babied. We've got the next card falling out. I'm just going to put it here. Now that sense of babying is more of that energy wanting to give that sense. Like what you desire, you want to give forth. So this is the energy that's nurturing one another in ways that feels very supportive and healthy. Clarification between our Page of Cups in its upright and our Ace of Pentacles in its reversal fell out of the deck as I was reading. We've got here our Strength card. So again, this is the communication that we're seeing that's occurring right now across the frequencies, particularly for the energy deep within divine union. This is the mass of the feminine, and this is happening for both energy deep within divine union and energy coming into divine union, because a lot of that energy is moving deeper, like moving into the divine union, like deeper into that frequency. A lot of this energy here is saying to, like, this is the feminine saying to the masculine again and reaffirming. What is the feminine saying to masculine? Bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. I find you, never are you stronger than when you're vulnerable. Your intrinsic value is not built and based upon what you give forth. So we see even now that for so much of this energy, navigating and facilitating that work, this is the energy that is coming into that space of delight. Because the funny thing is for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, letting oneself come into a space of easement is the energetic challenge now. This is energy that doesn't know how to relax. Like this is energy that feels guilty indulging in relaxing activity is what we're really seeing. And so this is the energy being like, I am going to be strong enough to enjoy something. While for masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union right now, this is the energy that is moving into divine union, and they're feeling, the reason they're feeling that vertigo is because this is the energy going, this is not someone I'm just going to dip my toe into. This is an energy of looking into something and said, we had our moments. And there's a lot of this energy that may be looking back now with a whole different reframing of some of those experiences in the past, in the difference in saying to someone, yeah, there was someone I connected with and we had our moments, but we didn't have the ability to maintain it, right? Because it's nothing to have a burst of inspiration. It's nothing to be able to hit a high note. To be able to hold a tune is a whole different thing. And so in the ability of articulating the sense and recognizing where the work begins, what the energy effectively says is this is someone that is strong enough to stay in that understands what it takes to remain in an energetic frequency of love, instead of occasionally having those moments and then pulling away. It's the difference between a relationship that feels like this versus a relationship that feels like this. While for masculine and feminine energy right now in separation, a lot of this energy in separation, this is the energy even now that's like, I'm just saying, there's like, I can see a bunch of this energy saying to the universe, like, I said I was done. And the universe being like, I know, like this is the energy going, yeah, because it's in the moment that you say you're done that you say I'm strong enough now. In the moment you say you're done, you're strong enough because you stop trying and you start being. You stop looking and you start seeking. You stop wondering and you start finding. So we see even now there's a lot of this energy that's moving into something with a strength of confidence so much that you're not seeking something in the counterpart that you don't have within the self. You're just looking to amplify what you already have, because you recognize that moving towards a manifestation goal changes you before you find it. Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with our King of Pentacles in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with the Hierophant. And I can see even now, look at this. This is a beautiful dovetailing that we're seeing in separation, because this is the energy, right? I need to stress this. This is the energy that is clear on intention with no expectation. Clear on intention with no expectation. Don't confuse that. This is an energy that says no intention, all expectation. This is the energy that says we both recognize that we desire the same long-term goals, but we're not committing energetically to it. We're seeing if we're in alignment, in relationality to working towards that. So all intention, no expectation, creates an ability to explore the possibility of a healthy energetic connection built and based upon clarity of intention. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, coming into divine union, this is the energy that's looking back on past situations and saying that wasn't a commitment. This is a lot of the energy that's looking back right now in the moment of receiving this and suddenly saying, I understand what went wrong in that last relationship. I understand the difference between someone that can have moments where they can dip their toe into the frequency of love. But if you're not able to put that effort in, the effort on the self and working with the counterpart to maintain that, you're not going to remain within it. You have to work towards it. It's something that you need to power through. It's something that you need to have conviction upon. And so this is a lot of that energy that even in the moment of receiving that, the sense of understanding on the difference between what feels like an external statement of commitment versus what feels like an integral statement of energetic commitment. This is the energy that says the commitment starts when the work begins. The commitment starts when the work begins. While for masculine and feminine energy, deep within divine union, this is the energy that recognizes that and never stops working. They're ceaseless in that. It's learning how to energetically relax that the energy is trying to work on right now. Final card for today's spread between our Strength card in combination with our Hierophant in its reversal. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Temperance card in its reversal. So, a lot of this energy right now in this Temperance card in its reversal, I keep seeing a lot of this surprise and delight that may be happening right now for some of the energy in separation, because this is the energy. I could just keep on getting the same message for the energy in separation, hearing someone say, it was the moment that I was done, that I was just beginning. It was the moment I said I was done that everything begun. The moment I was done that everything began. The moment I was done, that's when it begun. That's that moment of having that recognition point, because this is the energy that realizes in the stopping of trying, they become into who they are. And in that journey of becoming, it's not that sense of being done. That sense of being done is actually an energetic arrival point. So what's really happened is when the energy said they're done, what they really said is, I've arrived. Because it's that recognition point of what one needs to stop doing that moves one towards one's own manifestation goal. So we see even now, and the lovely thing about this is this is not the energy that's seeking that outside the self. This is the energy that's feeling the contentment within, that almost creates that space of saying that one doesn't require the manifestation because you're embodying the energetic feeling of what it feels like to be able to find it. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, coming into divine union, so much of this energy that we're identifying now coming into divine union, this is the energy that's recognizing a fracture. This is an energy that's feeling a profound overwhelm, because this is an energy that's looking at something and being like, this was the fracture point. This was the moment that everything cracked. And in that moment of feeling restoration, in a moment in the past where everything fell apart, having that moment of saying this is where we're going to begin to put it together. There's a lot of that energy that recognizes and realizes the difference between the energetic connection that was too fragile, right? That when an energetic connection is too fragile, the moment something gets difficult, it shatters. It can't take any weight. Versus the energy that is integral, that once the cracks start to form, that's where the work begins. It becomes that sense of maintaining. It becomes that sense of energetic effort. It becomes that sense of sustaining. So this is a lot of energy right now, recognizing the difference between the fragility of past energetic connections with a comparison of the integrity of what they're building forth in the present. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, I'd say a lot of this work right now is built upon and based upon. It's actually a lot of this energy is trying to slow things down in a moment that they want to speed things up. And so navigating that to a certain extent for the energy deep within divine union, is actually like, it's giving me a little bit of that frequency of the energy trying to come into a state of relaxation, while also having a lot of that energetic expectation air, like energy in the air. It's hard. I'm just going to say this type of frequency, it's hard to relax in a frequency like this. And that's okay. Like, that's just something we can accept. Eclipse seasons can feel very, they're very intense because there's a lot of sensitivity. So when you're in a space of deep sensitivity, it's like, it feels like you're always on high alert. Like, that's why I keep calling it wild hair energy. Because like, you're kind of like, you're like this all the time, So making sure that you recognize that, but you don't react to it, is important. Bottom of the deck, we love her. We've got our Queen of Swords here in its upright. Bottom of the deck, beautiful cards today. This is having, again, different impact on masculine and feminine right now. Masculine, and this is what's happening with this inner child healing. Masculine inner child healing is becoming very vulnerable, and feminine via the inner child healing is becoming very resilient. So we see even here that a lot of that work, the only difficulty may have to do with like even still a little disparity in relationality to the experience of masculine versus feminine right now. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. Because for masculine, like, all of this is that childlike energy returning. Feminine is feeling a lot more like resilient. And I see even here for masculine and feminine in separation, this is a lot of the feminine that's still moving into situations with a lot of their guard up. But again, for good reason, right? We see that. Like, a lot of this feminine energy right now is, working through that sense of learning how to trust. And like, trust is a process, but masculine may be recognizing this in separation. Masculine may be looking towards feminine in this way and like, almost saying to themselves, like, I hope they give me the possibility and the chance to show them that I might not be like anyone they've ever met before, right? While for masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union, a lot of this work coming into divine union right now, this is the energy of, again, there's resiliency here for feminine. There's a lot of this energy of feminine that I want to say, and I think even now, feminine having that, there's a fear and anxiety here of feminine saying, like, I don't want them to have to change. But feminine's recognizing the difference between someone saying, I'm changing for you, versus the recognition of someone saying, I know this is something that I'm working through, right? And masculine's observing that too. Like, masculine may be having those conversations with feminine, because this is the feminine saying, I don't want you to do this for me. And masculine saying, I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this because I want to. I'm doing this because I know that this is something that's limiting. So even here, there could be a little bit of that resilience between the sense of changing versus the conviction and desire to change. While for masculine and feminine deep within divine union right now, a lot of this work that we're seeing right now, like I said, it's trying to come into a point of easement when there's still so much to do. Like, there's a lot of this energy right now that's trying to learn how to relax, but also feeling kind of energetically guilty in doing so. So we see even here, like, there's a lot of that, like, trying to come, like, it's the nature of the energy right now. When there's a lot to be done, it's harder to be in a point of easement, But, even there, it's valuable, because this is almost the energy that's like learning to set those healthy standards, particularly in a way of like protecting and enjoying one's own sense of time. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. My private readings are done over video. And if you are a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Just mention your subscriber name at the point of payment. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading and you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my website, so I encourage you to do it there. Also, a couple of updates before we move into personal readings for the day. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended my Hierophant class. Our next tarot class will be held on Thursday, October 10th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Lover's card. If you would like to become a part of that class program, all you need to do is head over to my Substack, graystrega.substack.com. Your paid subscription to my Substack will grant you access and entry into each month's live class. You will also have access to the full repository of courses and materials that we have studied thus far. So if you join right now, you've got about 6 hours of material to catch up upon. It's not necessary to take the class, but it's certainly there for your own enjoyment when you're ready to receive it. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything that we're learning thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you will also receive a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein we will assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey, and I'll give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's certainly something there for everyone. So I want to thank you if you're already joining us there, and I look forward to potentially seeing you at our next class. But even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to be able to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will give you a full update on both my in-person events and my live social schedule. You'll also have access to our giveaways. Speaking of giveaways, we are in the process of hosting our September giveaway. So if you would like to potentially win a free private tarot reading with me, simply head over to the link tree in my bio. There is a 2-minute travel survey there. Filling out that travel survey will grant you an entry into the survey, but if you would like to increase your chances of winning, go ahead and forward that survey to a friend, because when I pull the winner, I will be giving away a free reading not only to the person who wins the giveaway, but also to the person who referred them. So thank you so much if you've already entered, and I wish you the best of luck of winning this month. Finally, I want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings that you can book on my website, I also offer mentorship courses. These can be focused on whatever area of personal growth or spiritual development you are invested in learning about at this time. I take a very limited number of students for this reason. Also, these can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series. That is 4 45-minute courses, 1 per week over the span of a month. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to be offering weekly tarot insight packages. These are a package of 4 30-minute readings that you can purchase at a discounted rate that you can take either on a weekly or bi-weekly schedule so that you can stay more consistent on your own journey. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow.